So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee. That's a lot. That's a lot. And Studio Series Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee, that's just a lot of Bumblebees, is pretty good. He is my first duplicate character review. Also, the background's different. That's because the sun was hitting the other guys in the other spot. So I had to move them up. And as far as things go, this guy's also really short. We're going to get complaints out of the way first before we get to the good stuff. He's short, but that's just Bumblebees at this rate. And Studio Series is not well regarded with scale. I didn't show Sideswipe. He's also short. That's with Shadow Panther, potential mascot guy. I might change my picture to him. Profile picture. Maybe. Another problem that I'm really annoyed with, because this is like the third take of this, is this little peg here. Every time I go to transform him, I move it. And it's annoying because it bumps the head and causes him to constantly be looking down. So you have to like untransform the backpack to get it in just the right spot. And it also is scuffing up the back of his head a ton. You might be able to see it there, the bit of like gray flecks in there. That's where the paint has been chipped off. Another complaint, obviously, oh, my backpack. At least it's practical and it can store his accessories. What a segue. Yeah, that's right, I segued. Awesome. He has 3 accessories. One of them is this sword, very nicely painted. Nice silver paint. The gun, also quite nice. He has black and silver on it. Looks good. We then have his secondary face. That's what that little thing on the back of his head's for, is this stores in its alt mode. And that's what it's for. And it's so stupid, because if they had to just put this somewhere else, it would have been so much better. That's what it's for. And you can equip these accessories quite easily. The blade can go on any arm, but I particularly like putting it on the left arm, because the right arm is removable, so you can put on the gun arm. Ugh, that's hard to get off for some reason. I don't know why. So you can give him his gun arm, like so. That looks pretty good. And you can come up here to the head, and then you can pop off his regular face, which we'll show after this face. And there is Battle Mode Bumblebee, how he's fighting Blitzwing. I wish I had Blitzwing. I never seen him. Apparently he was around, though. He went on sale, too, which was nuts. But he was around. I mean, he looks good. He looks pretty alright. I can't hate it. I think he looks pretty nice, all things considered. Sorry for cars, too. The window's open. But, I mean, accessories look good on him. Face looks nice. It's not metallic blue paint. Wish it was. It's just kind of blue. But hey, what are you gonna do? Looks pretty decent. You can remove everything you just put on pretty simply. My cat's meowing at the door. I might have to let her out. Now, that's that. Can't forget to remove the arm blade. There's his regular head. Looks pretty good. Has the Autobot logo and has some nice silver paint there. Looks pretty alright, honestly. And this guy's a pretty articulate guy. He has a ball joint in the head, so you can do whatever you need with that except backward motion. So you can't look up because of that stupid peg again. Oh boy, oh boy. Outward, forward, not so much back because backpack blockage. Elbow. There's a swivel involved here. It bends. The waist rotates forward and back. The joint also goes forward for some reason. His foot is on a tilt, so it can tilt forward and back, and also has a pivot. So he's a pretty articulate little bug, isn't he? And yes, he is a bug. He turned into a Volkswagen Beetle, because that's what he turned into in the movie, obviously. So yeah, let's just get into the transformation. So to transform Bumblebee, it's a bit weird. First thing I'm going to do, straighten those out. Just like that. I mean, that's a pretty obvious mistransformation step, if you want the truth. I still don't know why cars drive up the road when I do this. I don't live on a busy street. It's really weird. Come to the back, do that. Flip the door wings into the doors. Come to the back and fold it out. That's simple enough, huh? That's your car mode. Yeah, he's a shell former. We've seen that coming. Peg the back bumper sections together on his legs there. Rotate the waist around, and well, we're getting there. Rotate his arms like that. So kind of like the skids transformation. He does have the arms like skids. You can unpeg these sections from the chest there, and then we're not going to do that first. We're going to flip them around like this. You're going to take his feet, and you're going to push the toes down like so. You're then going to fold these bits forward. And then once you fold those bits forward, you can peg them together. And this is where they go. This is the thing with this transformation I used to hate. They go in this slot right there. Not this one. That's for this waist swivel. This one here, the one above tiny one. So they go in the big one. You got to make sure the legs are compressed as much as they can feasibly be compressed. This transformation, I hated the figure because of the transformation. It was so bad to do. I hated it. You're going to fold these bits forward, fold the arms down. Arms down, you can fold in the wheels. There. So you can fold in his wheels. And take the hood and start putting it in place. Like so, and now you get to the worst part of it, lining up panels. We'll do the arms last because you kind of need to do them last. So basically, you gotta start lining up everything. I do mean everything. Now, something to mention, I don't know if this is just my copy or not, but these pegs right here were super big for these little bits. I had to file them down last night. Try to get them to transform correctly. He wouldn't transform correctly because the back would have a massive gap in it. It still has a bit of a gap, but not as bad as it was. Trust me, it was like 10 times worse than this little gap that you're seeing now. It was 10 times worse, and I didn't file it down more because I was worried that they were going to break because they're translucent tabs. Flip down these hands, and then fold them down like that, and they just peg in. Then you gotta make sure everything's all flush and good. On the Eilt mode, looks good. Volkswagen Beetle. Actually, before we do that, store weapons. The gun goes there. The faceplate goes up here. And the sword, well, the sword just pegs on wherever the arm is, if you want the truth. Volkswagen Beetle mode, and it looks great. They're not going to screw this up. They did two. I own 2 of these, and both of them are equally as good. The Eilt mode's great. The only knock against it maybe is the clear windows, but it doesn't look the worst. It could have been bad. It could have been way worse. It could have been. He has painted windshield wipers. His wheels are weird because they're actually sculpted in gray. And then they were painted black. So that's how they work. As the paint details go, the headlights are clear. So that means that these whole sections here are clear. Because we don't do inserts anymore. Little gray bumper at the front and the back. He does have his rear lights painted though. Very nice. Little bits up here painted, so it's pretty decently painted. Even though the wheels aren't painted, it still works. So. He rolls pretty well. For a little bumblebee. Yeah, the Eilt mode looks pretty solid. I know I don't spend a lot of time in the Eilt mode. Not really a lot to talk about in the Eilt mode. It's car. It's car. There's no features with it. It's just a car. So my thoughts on the figure are that he's pretty good, you know? He's He's not the best Bumblebee ever, and, I mean, there's no way he even could be. I don't even know who the best one ever is. As much as I said the other one's probably, like, the best one you could ever ask for in the G1 style. Movie style, I don't even know if the Studio Series ones are good. I do have the 07 movie one, and I do like that one a lot, except it's breaking. I have 2 Studio Series with massive stress marks in areas that matter. My Dropkick's door is going to break off. It's cracked. I was wondering why it was falling off, so he's going to look, and there's a massive stress mark, and the paint's cracked and everything. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, as far as things go, I mean, I mended my relationship with this Bumblebee. I used to think it was the worst thing ever, and I regretted buying it. I don't regret buying it anymore. But, you know, it's not the greatest figure of all time, and I don't think it ever would be. It's just a semi-cheap Bumblebee. I would say semi-cheap. $30 is still not really cheap for these guys. Especially when they're this small, but, like, even the cheap ones aren't that crazy good. There you go. I'm just gonna do what I do right now, because I'm just gonna display them from how I display them, which is with the gun arm and the mask stowed. Yeah, my thoughts on him. I think that this figure is, like, I'm gonna give him a 3. Because he has a lot of issues. His transformation's not actually that good either. Like, it's not annoying anymore to me. But it's also just not fun. If it was a fun transformation, I'd be a little more happy. But it's not fun. And it's more annoying than fun, I guess, in some places. And those pegs, I'm glad I fixed that issue, because that does take an issue away from it. It would have probably been knocked down lower. I mean, the robot mode's great, except for the backpack and that little peg behind the head. I mean, hey, if you ever found this guy, he's not in stores. But he's probably going to get re-released again for the Rise of the Beasts. He definitely is going to get a re-release. Or they might do him again. I hope they do him again. But they're probably just going to re-release this. But 3.5 out of 5. That's my thoughts on him. This has been Eilt Elite, signing out.